Today's the day to celebrate.
We made this album in a bedroom at our house that we grew up in, so it's really like anything is possible.
I honestly don't know how any artist of any age is doing it without a parent. Is that million?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, I know that feeling. I wish I knew it more.
Welcome to Cordkillers, the show about watching the stuff you love when you want, where you want, however you want. I'm Tom Merritt.
Hey, I'm Brian Brushwood, and most importantly, that is a documentary. Was that the actual Billie Eilish, or was that an impersonator?
That was her.
That would be a weird
That would
flex
be a
for a documentary to do.
Playing the part of Billie Eilish in this documentary.
That is a clip from Billie Eilish, The World's a Little Blurry, which is a documentary coming to Apple TV Plus. It's about her recording her debut album with her brother and then going and touring it and becoming a household name. That is coming to Apple TV February 26th.
Nice.
Which one is the bad guy?
The brother, always.
I can't wait to watch. Joining us, of course, why do I say of course? Because we already knew, but now we're going to tell you. Merrill Barr is back on the show. Welcome, Merrill.
First time of 2021. Been a minute.
Did I mention
that's
he's
right.
my brother? Dun, dun, dun. He's the bad
Dun,
one.
dun,
News
dun.
to me. So does that mean, does that mean I have like a blood stake to the puppy or no?
You know what? He's not my brother. Dun, dun, dun.
Hands off my puppy.
That was a very short-lived arc.
Well, speaking of short-lived, that plays into our primary target. Because this might be the last year we cover award shows in quite this way. If you recall, going all the way back to the frame rate days, we've gone from Netflix got a nomination to Netflix got a lot of nominations to Netflix won. Lots of services got nominations to streaming services pretty much dominating the awards. The Golden Globes may not be the most objective awards out there, but they're a fair weather vane of where the industry is at, especially because the Hollywood Foreign Press awards them to both television and movies in multiple categories, not just one Best Picture. There's two different categories for movie and TV. Netflix dominated the Golden Globe nominations announced last week with 22 film nominations and 20 TV nominations for a record-breaking 42 total nominations. Mank and The Crown each got 6 nominations to lead their respective categories. The rest of the streaming services did pretty well too. Amazon had 10 nominations, 7 for film, 3 for TV. HBO had 7 TV nominations. HBO Max separately, specifically had 2 nominations for HBO Max originals, separate from HBO. 6 noms for Hulu, 5 for Showtime. Apple got 1 film nomination and 2 TV. The 2 TV were for Ted Lasso. Golden Globes, of course, will air February 28th. Tina Fey will be hosting from New York City. Amy Poehler from LA. They're doing a whole, really social distancing in opposite sides of the continent. But Brian, I mean, it's just awards. And the fact that there are streaming services in here really is no longer an important part of this, I don't think.
Yeah, not to make this just about ourselves, but like from the beginning, we've been an advocacy-based news program. Like we've had a position and a thing that we're hoping for, and having achieved it, I think you're right. I think we need to stop. Like we did it. When you think of premier, top of the line, boutique, incredible, high quality programming, you're probably thinking about a streaming or over the top service. And as such, it's kind of not news anymore, which is insane to me. Merrill, does this come as any surprise to you?
No, we're there. It's 2021. These Netflix has been doing original content now for over a decade officially. The House of Cards started 2010, if I believe. So we're past like that. So, it makes sense. Now, I think the more interesting thing is how quickly all the other streamers are getting noms, like HBO Max getting a nom, and they're not even in, are they 6 months old at this point? Like they're,
well, I mean, but they're really just HBO. I mean, depending on how you squint.
Oh, are they?
But the originals that weren't from HBO getting a nomination, right? Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like when I start seeing Peacock and Paramount Plus on that list next year, that's when we know we'll be in a whole new world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at nominations by distributor. It's Netflix, Amazon, Focus Features, Searchlight, Sony Pictures, Disney, Warner Brothers, Universal, Hulu, Neon Hulu. Like they're just mixed. It's just like somebody shuffled the deck.
Yeah. Well. So what does that mean in terms of everyday cord killers trying to decide how to think of all these services? Like, have we just decided, okay, what was an alternative to the mainstream became mainstream, and now it's premium mainstream. And so now, like, I mean, it's really weird. Like, my mom has several times flirted with cutting the cord. And then finally, like this very week, she was like, just tell me which service. And so I looked up, what was it? Suppose.tv, I think.
Yeah.
But we looked at like, what do you care about? Okay, you can get all these things. And it took all of like maybe 15 minutes for me to set up all three of their Roku-based televisions and authenticate them through their Hulu stuff. And it was done. It's shockingly easy to flip to a cord killing environment. And, you know, you're getting the best of breed performance on everything.
Yeah, I think where we're at is, for a while, it was, can Netflix make shows as good as regular TV? Then it was, well, maybe Netflix can sometimes, but can these tech companies make shows as good as TV? Then it became, wait, can these streaming services that are separate from places like NBC and Disney's regular outlets make shows that are as, now that's the question that's done. We still haven't figured out what the payment model should be, what the bundling model should be, you know, how many of these services actually can survive in the marketplace, because the marketplace keeps shifting as people like your mom, you know, move from cable to going into the world of picking what they want to watch and just paying for that stuff. So a lot of that still has to shake out. But the quality of the television, that's, to me, that's a settled question now. Like, it's varying quality, but you will get good things from whatever outlet you decide to put your money on.
Oh, I mean, we're now entering, I mean, if you want to get into that conversation, we're now entering a world where streaming is officially like grown up to the point where, you know, the next big set of union actions are going to be happening over the residual models in streaming and the monies and the budgets in streaming, like, and the minimums. Like, this is the next fight, because streaming is now at a place where it's big daddy, like it's top dog. And when you're top dog, that means that people are going to come for your game. And, you know, I'm on a certain side of the issue, and, you know, we don't have to get much into that right now, but it's just like, that's way, you know, it's grown up. It's officially, it's no longer the infant. Oh, isn't that cute? Like, no, it's big business now. Like, that's for certain.
So to go back to the navel gazing, like, do we continue to cover this or no?
I think we shift to covering award ceremonies based on the fact that we cover things to watch,
Right?
Which is like, hey, if there's something that the Cordkillers audience has been excited about, we'll talk about, like, oh, that thing that we all were talking about got an Oscar nomination or won a Golden Globe. But we don't need to cover like the idea that streaming got nominated. That angle is over now.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty weird. I remember, for anybody who hadn't heard this metaphor before, I remember when we first started this journey, Tom saying, yeah, it's a bit weird. It's like we're doing iPad today, years before the iPad has been invented. But I think we'll be in a good spot down the road. And here we are.
Hey, we got an email here for you, Brian.
Yes.
It's from Steve.
Yes.
Steve wants to know, does it ever seem odd to you that Brian will often tell us about how he cares so little about money that he can't be bothered to stop his extra HBO subscription right before asking the listeners to send you guys money? It's made me question continuing my Patreon subscription.
Okay, first of all, let's not mistake my incompetence for a sassitude. That is
for
not
wealth.
the case. I am, yeah, exactly. I'm not saying I don't care about money. What I'm saying is that I am incompetent and I get pulled away to too many things. However, I will say that this email so challenged me that I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm on the case. I put on a detective hat. I grabbed a big old magnifying glass and I said, how am I paying for HBO? And I searched around and I figured out that I was paying for HBO via apple.com. And I went and I Googled, how do I cancel HBO via Apple? And it said, you literally open up your settings and you look at all of the subscriptions that you have, and then you just say no to all of them. It was shockingly simple. Also, I want to apologize right now to my children, to my wife, to everybody else who is collateral damage in the great unsubscribing of 2021, because a lot of things got canceled. And I figured, much like we advise people at home, just cancel everything. And the moment you want it, get it back. So I canceled everything. And the moment somebody complains, they can have it back. But I don't expect to hear anything anytime soon. The only thing I definitely kept was the satellite tracker app, because it tells me when the ISS flies overhead, which is really awesome.
And that's worth it. Yeah.
Totally worth it.
So it's kind of like Steve is kind of like the boss that came into your office and was like, well, wasting all this money on HBO, Brian, I guess we can cut your pay. And you're like, sorry, sir, I'll get right on that.
Yes, exactly. And of course, that's why you should pay us at patreon.com/Cordkillers. It's where you keep us loud, live, and independent. Just $1 an episode. That's all we ask for. If we bring you value with the news, reviews, and all the information on how to cut the cord and watch the stuff you want to watch, then why not kick us $1? We'll, and if you don't trust Brian with this money, that's fine. Bryce is very responsible, as is
I have a whole spreadsheet. It uses formulas.
Do it for Bryce.
Don't punish us for Brian's profligacy.
Right.
Also, I came correct, man. I did the thing. I saw the face of God.
Yeah,
That's right.
You
In
did
fact,
it,
Brian
Steve.
did a service for you, Steve.
Congratulations.
That's right. Brian did some work for you, Steve. So pony up.
There you go. Patreon.com/Cordkillers. No, Brian won't waste your money, and neither will we. Let's talk about how to watch. Just one thing in the device category this week. Google is slow walking its Google TV interface and branding to certain partners, but it has decided not to leave you Android TV users entirely behind. Google has updated Android TV to look a little more like Google TV. This is a very Google decision. Instead of just upgrading everyone to Google TV, they're like, no. First we'll tweak Android TV. There are 3 new tabs on the Android TV home screen: Home, Discover, and Apps. They show up at the top of the interface, replacing the list and tile layouts. Home will have your favorite apps and channels. Discover will show you personalized recommendations based on what it knows about you. Google seems to be keeping Android TV around on life support because it's a different version of Android. Google TV is based on Android 10, while Android TV is based on Android 9. Slowly, manufacturers are shifting to Google TV. TCL and Sony announced at CES that their TVs will ship with Google TV this year, not Android TV. Google said itself, over time, all new retail devices on the Android TV OS will have the Google TV experience. Until then, we are bringing new features like personalized recommendations to the older version. I think it really is that operating system shift where they're like, well, it's not easy to make everything. Maybe everything can't run Android 10, and we designed Google TV for Android 10. So for those they're actually doing what they should do, which is for those devices that we can't get all the way up to Google TV, maybe we'll add some features. Also probably has to do with licensing and wanting to get people in the ecosystem for Google TV. I'm sure that's part of it too.
Well, from the branding perspective, I'm of 2 minds. On the one hand, I'm as annoyed as everybody else, where it's like, why would you slow walk all of this stuff? It doesn't make sense. But I'm also a fan of confusing the customer as little as possible. So if somebody has an Android TV and they boot it up for years and years and years, they're not going to love suddenly, hey, you're on a new thing. But they can be nudged to that experience a piece at a time, where it's like you get a more Google TV-like experience over time. And then one day the word Google is swapped for Android, or Android is swapped for Google, or whatever. Like, I can understand it, and I could be on board for that.
And a likely scenario for some of those users is they can't support Google TV. They can't support Android 10. And so the other option would be to just never give them anything new. Cause like, well, you're on the old platform and you're just sit there wondering like, why is my platform never get any cool new features? At least now they're bringing some of those features over.
Now, is this I always associate TCL with Roku. So they do more than just Roku. They partner with a bunch of different smart TV people. And
Roku is on more than just TCL. TCL also does Android TV or did. Now they do Google TV on some of their sets.
I also find it interesting that the layout that Bryce had up on screen looks a lot like the Amazon app layout. Like that looks exactly like
it's the new thing.
They're all getting pretty close to the same sort of, it turns out that there's one best way to design a bicycle is I think where we're
kind of finally, circling in on that. Also, Amazon Fire TV based on Android as well, although the interface is entirely Amazon's development. So they wouldn't need to look the same, but yeah. I wonder, Apple TV is the one that is the most different from the others now. Even Roku is starting to look a little bit more like Fire TV and a little bit more. So I'll be curious to see. I mean, Apple though, they love to do it they love to be different. They think different, not differently.
I know, Tom, that you tend to be pretty good about viewing everything from a distance and just sort of reporting the facts as they are. But as a consumer, do you have a hot take on whether or not you would like them to move any faster? Because yes, it is definitely conspicuous. I'm not even going to say weird. I'm going to say it's conspicuous that they're slow walking this change. But from a branding side, I understand why. But from a consumer side, does that I don't know, move your guts one way or the other?
No, I think what they realize is the market's just going to get bigger for them. At least they hope. And so, if they do this right in a year, well, even if only the newest devices have Google TV, the majority of their audience will have Google TV. And so they're trying to walk that fine line between forcing people into an update that's confusing or doesn't work as well, leaving people behind, and while knowing that really those would just be a minority of our audience in the future anyway.
Right.
All right, let's talk about what to watch in Under Surveillance.
Not like real estate. It's all about location. Under surveillance.
Viacom CBS will be streaming the premiere episodes of The Equalizer and Clarice on Pluto TV following their premieres on broadcast. So it's already happening. The Equalizer debuted after the Super Bowl, and Clarice arrives February 11th. The episodes will also show in front of the paywall on Amazon Prime Video, as well as on the CBS YouTube channel. Both shows were advertised heavily during the CBS broadcast of the Super Bowl, as was the upcoming name change of CBS All Access to Paramount Plus coming in March with no reference to CBS All Access. It was like it was a brand new thing, to the point that my wife turned to me when we saw the first commercial for Paramount Plus and said, so do we have to add that too? And I was like, no, we already have it. It's called CBS All Access. They just didn't tell anyone that.
Yeah, well, we'll put a pin in the whole switching from CBS to the PP place. But the as far as these things premiering live, so this is a case where you don't have to have any of the services. You can just go in and see it free. Or
yeah, right in front of the paywall. Just watch the premiere episode. The idea is get you hooked, so you'll want to go pay or watch it.
I mean, the thing that's most important to me from this is they talk about how they're going to put it on Pluto. Because this is what Pluto's for. This is using Pluto as a way to build audience for the brand show. So like, and this is the beginning of that. It's like, okay, so you're gonna throw the premiere of Equalizer and Clarice on Pluto, and it's like, I don't see why there can't be a world where, there's the episodes, because they are free anyway. Like Pluto becomes here's where to watch it live next day for free, because technically if it's on a free to air, what are you really losing by having it be available for free? And then when the season is over, throwing the entire back catalog into Paramount Plus. Now, by the way,
the only thing you'll run into there are the local affiliates will scream if you do that.
Will get mad. The thing about Paramount Plus that is really funny. Here's how bad that potentially the brand recognition rollout was yesterday. Secretly, it was announced, that's secretly, but online, there was news that actually they initiated a deal. You can sign up for a year of Paramount Plus, either with or without ads, for 50% off. Nowhere was that in the advertising yesterday. It's just an online thing. It's like, how is that not like front and center? Hey, sign up right now. You'll get 50% off for the year.
To be honest, that makes a lot of sense, because if you're going to spend a lot of money on a Super Bowl ad, you're going to want to be able to differentiate the people who buy because of the Super Bowl ad and the premium content from the people who are value conscious, who want to take advantage of a bargain. So in that regard, like, yeah, that's exactly what you do is you say, hey, sign up for our content, and then however many people sign up, and then to a separate group using a different channel, you say, you seem value conscious. Would you like a coupon to get 50% off?
Yeah,
Okay,
that does
Brian
make
wins
sense to
this
me
round.
too.
That makes sense.
I mean, I think what's weirdest about this is that they already have a product. They didn't mention that, and the new name doesn't come till March. So, I mean, I'm not saying, well, you shouldn't have advertised or you should have launched it now, change the name now. I get that those timelines don't line up exactly, but it is confusing. So with the Super Bowl ads, I think what you were saying is they're going for brand awareness, right? It's not driving subscriptions, which the 50% off might have done. But I don't know. It's kind of a complicated bit of awareness, isn't it? Because the product is there.
The one thing I think that those ads did brilliantly is make it clear what IPs are under that label that you will get. So you're going to get Star Trek, you're
Mhm.
going to get
Mhm.
SWAT, you're going to get SpongeBob, you're going to get Beavis and Butthead, you're going to get Comedy Central. Like they tried really hard to make it clear. It's like, hey, I know you think this is silly, but turns out, look at all these things that you actually love that are going to be here. That I think they did very well.
Well, and not to tip too much, but we've been talking on Night Attack about, like, in a world where Justin Robert Young lives in the same town as Brian, how might we capture the energy of a fresh launch without necessarily giving up all the momentum that we built over the last 5 years? And we're entertaining all kinds of crazy ideas. And to be honest, like, the idea of just a slight name tweak and acting like it's a new thing when really it's the same old thing might be the best of both worlds. I don't know.
Man, I can't wait for Night Attack Plus. It's going to be the best.
No, we're going to call it the PP place. And we're going to get a cease and desist.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's going to be called Night Attack without the vowels, though. So spelled without the vowels.
Yeah.
Night Attack All Access. Trailer aired for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, picking up after the events of Avengers Endgame. You get Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes chasing after the anarchist group Flag Smashers. Daniel Bruhl will be back as Baron Zemo, although put on his purple mask this time, unlike his appearance in Civil War. We also glimpse Emily Van Camp in the trailer as Sharon Carter, Peggy's niece. We did not see Don Cheadle as War Machine, but he supposedly will make an appearance as well. Falcon and Winter Soldier coming to Disney Plus for a 6-episode run March 19th, although they didn't have that in the commercial on the Super Bowl.
Merrill, I owe you an apology, but it's not for hating the first trailer. It's for not stating hard enough how much I hated the first trailer, which I can say because I really love the second trailer. They really put a lampshade on the differences between them, opening it up with kind of a therapy session and the question, like setting the framework of why do the two of you hate each other, made it suddenly it felt more Mr. and Mrs. Smith, where it's like, oh, they do belong together, but I want to know why they're having a tough time. It changed everything. I really think it made a big difference.
When you start looking at this thing in the frame of a buddy cop movie, it all falls into place. This is going to be a buddy cop movie in the MCU. And the thing that I love about that is particularly the Captain America movies love to bring in grounded genres into, so like Winter Soldier was a straight up spy thriller, like, and now this is going to be a buddy cop movie. Like, this particular brand, and like this is like I'm getting all those Winter Soldier, all the vibes I got off that first Winter Soldier trailer are what I'm getting here. And Winter Soldier is arguably the best MCU movie, so it's like this is like I'm so pumped for this. Like I can't wait. And after the week we just had with WandaVision, I think that that Marvel television train is going to keep rolling. It's going to, we're going to get off WandaVision and roll right into this, and it's going to be glorious.
Well, I will say that this trailer made me see what you saw in this project in a way that the first one did not even get close to.
Well, that staring contest at the end is really the seller, I think. Like the second that you go back and realize, oh, okay, we're gonna have some really good character. Like we're gonna have really great sort of just these two butting heads all the time.
Yeah. By the way,
everything.
mild blasphemy in a Disney Plus ad in the Super Bowl, where it's like, Jesus, you two. Like,
Yeah.
I was just like, well, we live in a new era, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. So we've rehabilitated Brian's appreciation for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What about M. Night Shyamalan? We got a Super Bowl trailer for Old. It's about people finding a dead body on a beach and an implication that people are aging rapidly. Old is set to come to theaters July 23rd.
Man, I don't know what to think with M. Night Shyamalan anymore, because like, I know he can make a good movie, but whenever you least expect it, that's the twist. And so I don't know if I should expect
he made a good
anything or
movie.
not.
Twist.
Right, exactly.
It was a weird trailer, and I didn't know really what to make of it. I think rolling it out with that 30-second spot, or was it a 30-second spot, and not releasing a full trailer was like, I think that was the right call, because you kind of don't know really what to do with it. And it's just, I will say the modern M. Night Shyamalan has a better hit ratio than the mid 2000s M. Night Shyamalan.
He's also willing to go back to original M. Night Shyamalan in that he's willing to hold more cards closer to his chest,
Yes.
and so that makes me tempted to not really judge it based on anything we've seen. Whatever we're being told, I don't believe any of it.
Yeah, like there's the premise is these people are aging rapidly on the beach, but that's not the twist. Like there's gonna be some big magical thing that reveals this. Yeah,
I feel whenever we bring up M. Night Shyamalan, and this is no disrespect to the director, I feel it's important to point out that Servant is created and written by Tony Bascallop, not M. Night Shyamalan. Shyamalan's an executive producer on it, but everybody always talks about it as if Shyamalan's doing Servant in all these articles, and it's like, no, Bascallop is the one making Servant amazing.
That's the pay. That's what you get when you're that kind of name executive producer, and you.
It's like J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, J.J. or now, and Jon Favreau's the new one. Like, although Jon Favreau is doing Mandalorian, but like, as Jon Favreau gets more and more into shows like that, it's gonna start being like, from executive producer Jon Favreau, and everyone's gonna think he's the showrunner.
Well, the true fans of Super Bowl commercials don't wait around to see them during the game. They go watch them first thing in the morning Sunday on YouTube. The most watched commercial on YouTube was for the Amazon Echo, featuring Michael B. Jordan as an anthropomorphized Amazon voice assistant. That was followed by Bruce Springsteen's Ode to America from Jeep. So we got a funny one, then we got a serious one. And then number 3, Timothy Chalamet and Winona Ryder's Edgar Scissorhands, which was a commercial for Cadillac.
Was a bit surprised by the Bruce Springsteen, like the middle, like the middle is like, what's great about like I would have thought the center, like being centered is good, but what do we say about the middle? We say you're stuck in the middle, or I don't know. That was
with
a weird
you.
Choice of the words, right?
I assume he's trying to make a point about the middle class, but it's like,
oh, you know what? Actually,
middle class, middle America.
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
all right, that tracks. I will
ABC
say
sitcom, The Middle.
I will say Malcolm in the middle.
Malcolm.
Jimmy Eat World's song, The Middle.
I will say that the Alexa ad had the genius positioning of taking the vaguest negative to having an AI bot like in the bedroom with you and putting a spotlight on it and somehow making it charming. I thought that was very astute, because underneath all of that drama was the fact that, by the way, Alexa works very, very well and listens to you and does the things that you tell it to.
If that commercial has Jeff Bezos in the bathtub, it's an entirely different situation.
Yeah,
right.
The other thing I hope for that this commercial gives me hope for, it's not going to happen though. So there was a report that Amazon was going to pick up what's it called? No Remorse, the new Michael G. Bourne movie where he's playing John Clark from the Jack Ryan novels, and so he's going to take over that role. and it was supposed to be released by Paramount. COVID happened. Amazon was reported to pick it up. That was over the summer. And it's like, boy, would I love it if this was like accidentally a way to bring Michael B. Jordan into their Jack Ryan TV show universe and just make that a universe on Amazon. That would make me so happy.
Fox Entertainment announced its first series under its broadcast network-only deal with Dan Harmon. The untitled animated series will follow a family of humans, gods, and monsters in ancient Greece who try to run one of the world's first cities. Fox says they expect it to debut next year, 2022.
That dude is crushing it.
There's a lot happening at Fox right now that is fascinating. We right now in this moment, we have an independent broadcast network. And we haven't had that in a long time. Fox is not bound. The Fox broadcasting channel is not bound by major studios right now. It's bound by the Murdochs still.
I just realized we traded CBS for Fox over the past couple of years. CBS was what Fox is now. Had a few networks independent of a studio, and then Viacom went and gobbled it back up. But in the meantime, Fox got spun out after the deal of Disney acquiring the studio.
And they have been, there are a few things that aren't announced yet that I know about. Like there is a lot of interesting stuff going on over there because they are not bound right now. And they're trying a lot of weird things. They're signing deals with a lot of creators. Like the fact that they're bringing in Dan Harmon, that makes complete sense. That's the right kind of choice for them right now.
Keep an eye on that upstart Fox network. All right, a few other notes. The Lord of the Rings trilogy playing in IMAX theaters in the U.S. right now in 4K. If your theaters are open, you can see The Fellowship of the Ring right now. Two Towers and Return of the King coming February 12th. A new 30-second trailer for Fast 9, F9, Fast and Furious came out during the Super Bowl, touting in theaters soon. Right now it's expected in May, but they kind of backed off committing to that. A trailer not seen during the Super Bowl was for HBO's The Nevers. That one is out, though. The trailer show is from Joss Whedon, set in London in the 19th century, focusing on a group of women with supernatural powers trying to get by in the Victorian era. And Mattel announced it is working with rapper Lil Yachty on a movie based on the card game Uno. Lil Yachty will executive produce and star in the film, which will be set in the underground hip-hop world of Atlanta.
My urge to pre-mock the Uno movie is very high, especially in a world where we've seen catastrophes like Battleship and so on. However, the nice thing about Uno is that it's a relatable card game that is a framework onto which you can project literally any story you want. Because we all remember playing Uno and the dynamics of the game. The idea that one character could be all the way up and powerful, and then the reverse switches everything or whatever. It's dumb or whatever, but I think there could be real gravitas in an Uno-based movie. That's a real sentence that I said in the year 2021.
This is my buddy Blue Reverso.
Okay, look, I don't mock.
Hey, I'm draw four.
Look, I know a guy who pitched a Rubik's Cube movie because there was no open assignment, and his pitch was, okay, all of the spaces take you to a new dimension, and it was like a fantasy adventure movie in the Rubik's Cube.
Oh yeah, like, okay. On the flip side, imagine the Queen's Gambit, but about speed cubers, right? It's like you could tell a good story about a dumb simple game. But so whatever, the Queen's Gambit, but about Uno and rap culture. I'm in.
The only other thing I want to hit in the stuff that we were talking about, or we just ran through, was particularly about the F9 and the Nevers. We're in a new age where we're playing with, or lack of playing with, information given in these ads. So on F9, it was in theaters soon, I've never seen that before. That was a first. But then on the Nevers, did you notice what wasn't said in that trailer?
I assume Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon from the creator, but like just nowhere to be found.
No,
obviously we know why.
I'm not familiar enough with the canceling ? I don't know anything about that. So
all you have to know is that he was released from his deal at age. He had a deal with Warner Brothers, like this overall deal, and then he was released from it, and then he left the Nevers for season 2. So it's like he's not on the show anymore. So they're just kind of burying that. But it's just weird because this kind of show, to not put from the creator Buffy and Firefly smack dab first, like how, like, you know, when they did the first trailers for the Rapture show with Damon Lindelof. That I'm suddenly forgetting the
The
name.
Leftovers.
Yeah.
The Leftovers from the creator of Lost was all over those trailers.
Yeah, but
So-
also he wasn't in the middle of,
Right.
sexual firestorm. So I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about what we've had our eyes on, starting with our guest. Merrill, what have you been watching?
All right, I got a Quickie, and then Brian, I have to have a moment. Quickie is a Flashpoint Canadian cop show. It's kind of like the Canadian SWAT. Very good. If you've never seen it, Enrico Contani leads a elite tactical team in Toronto, where they're like cross-trained to be in psychology and stuff. So it's like they have heart, and like they don't want to fire first. They don't want to shoot people. It's like that. That's all well and good. Watch it if you've never seen it. It's on Hulu. Brian, bring Bryce. We gotta have a moment. The Shield.
Welcome, my friend. You have finally joined us.
Okay. Just to give you a context of where I am in the last season, and like right before I signed on for this, Vic gave up his shield, and Shane tried to kill everyone.
Oh, okay.
And-
Jesus, this is not Spoilerin time, and I'm sorry to talk like a Disney Plus promo, but Merrill, time and place, my friend.
It's like, oh my God, this show.
It's a very good show. It's so good that we should watch it week over week for multiple years. Oh wait, that's exactly what we did on this show.
I watched this on Xbox.
the thing I found. Oh, and by the way, I'm watching. There was a new 4K transfer that they did, and that's what I'm watching this with.
Nice.
And it's
So
like,
is it 16:9 on everything?
It's 16:9. Sean Ryan was in the room for the entire transfer, and he approved everything on it.
That's
So
cool.
it's completely creator approved, and it is the thing I'm most struck by is the grittiness of the look, because they shot it on 16 millimeter. And the level of grain and the way they captured light on this show,
It was also the first show that I really noticed the dance between the principal actors and the cameraman. Like the cameraman as an actor who knew when to punch in on certain things and to pan and all of that stuff. It really is an extraordinary show, an experience.
mm-hmm.
Brian, what about you? Have you been rewatching The Shield?
No, I last night started rewatching Richard Donner's Superman 1, and I only got halfway through it before I called it a night and went to bed. But it is 45 minutes before we see the Superman outfit and before we even see the city of Metropolis. It is extraordinary. The depth and the haziness and the dreamlike nature of which this comic book was reimagined. Like I am one of the few people who rather liked Man of Steel for its alien immigrant story, but man, it's all present right here in this cartoony 1970s flick. Join me, won't you? Because I'm going to rewatch all those Superman movies.
It was the first of the superhero movies. When you talk about superhero movies now, and everybody talks about Marvel because they have done something insane with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But if people don't remember that before Superman, a superhero movie was like a throwaway kitschy kids thing, right? And not to say that the Donner Superman isn't kitschy to our modern eyes, but this was the first like major motion picture attempt at a superhero movie, and it worked.
Well, and plus also they were a little bit coy in the marketing at the time. They were like, "You will believe a man can fly." That was their big tagline.
Yeah, right.
Because they bothered to do things like not just have somebody lay on a green screen plank and superimpose them over some B-roll.
Right.
Yeah, man, it really holds up, and that score is amazing, and yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Well, I watched a Netflix suggestion, which I don't often do, to be honest, but they were pushing me to watch Space Sweepers this weekend, and I did. And here's who it's for. If you love a space movie, if it's space movies in your wheelhouse, you're like, put some ships flying around, I'm in. And if you're sort of in the mood for kind of a meaning of oh shoot, now I'm blanking on the name of the kind of the 70s action space film that I'm trying to think of.
Battlestar Galactica, Solar Babies.
With the Johnny Cab.
That's not 70s, that's 80s, that's Total Recall.
Total Recall, and a little bit of oh crap, I'm totally blanking on the analogy that I had. Yeah. No.
Dick Miller,
Harry
he
and the
did
Hendersons.
everything in that time period. I mean, Dick Miller could.
Anyway, it's got a kitschy 80s. I shouldn't have said 70s. I should have said 80s. It's got a kitschy 80s feel, so it's got a humorous take. It's a band of misfits in salvage operations trying to take down a big tech mogul and save a little girl. It's not for everybody. A lot of people will watch it and roll their eyes. But if you just want some space fun, there you go. Space Sweepers on Netflix.
And okay, cool.
Yeah. What should we be on the lookout for, Bryce?
I was literally about to ask, like, on what service is that? And you said Netflix, and I had no move. So I just said, okay, cool. That was not me being dismissive, I promise. Bryce, what should we be on the lookout for?
Hey, we got a pick from Cliff. Cliff writes, if anyone is looking for something new to watch, this is a few years old, but they should give the show Forever on CW Seed a shot. This is, by the way, not the Amazon Prime original series that came out last year. This is about a medical examiner in New York City that is a little bit Sherlock and a little bit Highlander. It turns out he is 200 years old because of a freak accident when he was killed in the 1800s. Because of mysterious circumstances when he died back then, he can no longer die now. If he should die now, he is immediately reincarnated and materializes where he originally died, in a body of water. It's a little hokey, but it doesn't have a lot to do with the plot of the show. It just gives him some backstory to help him solve murders, along with the NYPD detective played by Alana De La Garza, who is currently on the CBS show FBI. The lead character, played by Ian Grufford, is the medical examiner, and he lives with Judd Hirsch, who runs an antique store. It turns out that the examiner adopted Hirsch's character when he was a young boy in the 1930s, and now Hirsch is an older man, and the medical examiner is still a young man. The show has 22 episodes, and they solve murders in an interesting and entertaining manner. Thank you, Cliff. Yeah, those episodes are on CW Seed, which is an ad-supported streaming service from the CW. What's up, Merrill?
This was like when this came out, it was like a big deal because it was kind of like the attempt to pair something with Castle, which was, I think, like 6 seasons in at that point. And ABC was looking for another, like, because this is back in the era when, like, Bones was like the biggest show. Like, no one could stop talking about Bones on Fox. Everybody wanted a Bones, so ABC made Castle. ABC found success with Castle, so they were like, well, we want more Castle. So they came up with Forever, which was like, there is a hardcore fan base for this show. I remember covering it. I never got a chance to see it, but the fan base for it was
a cool, counterintuitive idea that will appeal to all four quadrants. Like, if you're an old person, you get to say, see, experience is a type of superpower, and if you're young and beautiful, it's like, yeah, it'd be great to know everything that, happened in the last 200 years.
The other.
Oh, so you'll say it's perfect for me then.
Yes.
An old, young, and beautiful person.
There it is.
The other thing is, like, the CW Seed has been taking on a ton of weird, like, archive shows. Like, if they get Fastlane, I'm never leaving my house. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's like they take on a lot of these really, like, weird, like, oh, did it last for one season and get canceled? We'll put it on. Sure, screw it.
Yeah, so I don't know if they have apps for it, probably, but cwseed.com was the website, and it's ad-supported, so I don't even know that you need an account for it. If you've got something we should be on the lookout for, email us, cordkillers@gmail.com. Thank you.
Fifth Element. Fifth Element meets Total Recall was what I was trying to remember.
Dude,
earlier.
the fifth element is love. Spoiler.
Yeah, it's got a lot of fifth element in Space Sweepers. So yeah, there you go. All right. Meanwhile, I would like to email with you. And so if you want me to email you about stuff, then, just send me your email address, freetomnewsletter.com. That's right.
All right, look, Tom, look, I ain't here to yuck on your yum or to tell you how to game or whatever, but it's like, you got to come in with authority. You got to say, like, yo, you love my writing. My writing loves you.
No, it's good. It's a good note.
How about that email? Try it again. 3, 2, 1, and
Oh, hey, podcast listener, Tom here. I know you love me. I love you too. Let's talk to each other. freetomnewsletter.com.
Hells yeah! Take us to the front lines!
Speaking of the CW, we're used to thinking of it as a network that's CBS adjacent because, CBS was bringing Supergirl over to CW and the Arrowverse, all that stuff. But the CW is a 50-50 split between what is now Viacom CBS and AT&T's Warner Media. And it looks like the pendulum is swinging a bit more toward the W in the CW. Deadline reports the CW plans cross airings of Superman and Lois and Go Big Show with TNT, and TBS is discussing co-financing some summer CW series that would premiere on HBO Max and then air on the CW the next day. Merrill, you pointed this out to me. Sounds kind of big.
Yeah, this is really like, so this makes sense, particularly the part where there's going to focus on the summer, like big event shows that can air in the summer, which is usually a dead time for broadcast anyway. This gives the CW access to flashy shows, and it gives HBO Max access to the CW. The one thing CW has that no other network has is a rabid fan base. Like they are the last stand of like a linear network with a fan base that comes in for the network regardless of what it's airing. They'll try anything on the network. So it's a chance to get that fan base into the HBO Max umbrella, which shows that are really flashy and will look a little more bigger than your standard CW show.
And Nintendo was apparently working on a live-action Zelda series with Netflix back in 2015, but then it got canceled because plans leaked. The info came from Adam Conover, who told the Surf Times that he was working on a Star Fox project that got canceled at the exact same time.
Man, sour grapes out of Nintendo there.
Like
Nielsen's expanded numbers for December 28th through January 3rd ranked Netflix's Bridgerton number 1 in original TV with 2.648 billion minutes, followed by Cobra Kai, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and The Crown. Mandalorian was the only non-Netflix title in the top 10. Death to 2020 came in 8th, if anybody was wondering. And Disney Plus's Soul took the top movie spot. They now separated movie from TV in the Nielsen ratings. That was followed by Netflix's We Can Be Heroes.
Merrill, did you follow Cobra Kai all the way through season 3?
Oh, yes.
And does it hold up? Because I had heard middling reviews.
No, it holds up. Season 3 starts a little slow, but by the time you get to the end of the season, it's like they have the most epic. Did you see season 2, Brian?
I started it, but I have not finished it.
All right, so season 2 ends on an amazing battle in high school, and then season 3 ups the ante on that. So, and you get a lot of like certain payoffs they've been setting up for a while go down in season 3, and it's really worthwhile.
And of course, it's not the Super Bowl without at least one streaming service having issues. This year, the CBS All Access app suffered right around kickoff. Supposedly restarting the app fixed it. Man, I would imagine that's not fun when you're having a... Wait, you know what's funny is I was about to talk about an imaginary house party, but if you're having a house party, you're a bad person, right?
I'm not willing to say, but yes,
it was very
having
weird.
A house party could be irresponsible depending on how you do it. Yeah,
it was weird to type in CBS.com and have it say it's not. You can't get CBS.com right now. It's not loading at all.
Well, CBS All Access going down may have been fortuitous because they hadn't renamed it yet. So all those Paramount Plus ads were like, no, this will all be fixed by March. We promise.
As bad as this looks, the one silver lining that it proves is there are a ton of people who will come to this app for the sports. And so that's a selling point for Paramount Plus. Is like, it turns out, no, people are willing to show up for this. They came out for the CBS app that everyone thought this, because remember, this is the first year that we've had a Super Bowl on CBS since CBS All Access launched. This was a real test case for like, how many users do you actually have? Enough to crash your servers for the Super Bowl, apparently. Like, that's a big deal.
Speaking of sports, New Japan Pro Wrestling has a TV deal to show programming on the Roku channel in Canada, the UK, and the US. The weekly 1-hour series kicks off February 11th, premiering every Thursday. Roku channel's also getting a library of older content as well.
Oh, heck yeah. What do you say we check out some of them dispatches from the front?
From the front?
Yeah, those are the ones.
Audie wrote in and said, "Hey guys and Merrill, listening to you discuss the HBO subscriber numbers, I had this question. Do these numbers factor in someone like me who is in and out to subscribing to HBO Max? I haven't subscribed to it until December to watch Wonder Woman. I last subscribed a couple of months this past summer. I'm out for right now, but plan to re-up for March to see Justice League and Godzilla vs. Kong."
I mean, the short answer is we can't possibly know because everybody is self-reporting all these numbers and everybody has a vested interest in making them look as good as possible. So if I were to guess, I would say all of them are lying to the best ability they can, which is to say every time you subscribed, you're being listed as a new subscriber. And whether you're on for one day or an entire month, they're going to count you as a monthly subscriber. But because everybody is cheating the exact same way, I assume that it all pretty much balances itself out. What do you say, Tom?
Yeah. And people, yes, they spin the numbers. Brian's not wrong, but also they don't flat out lie or their investors can sue them. So these numbers have to be based in some kind of accuracy. And if you subscribe, you count as a subscriber that month. If you unsubscribe, you no longer count in the next month. So this kind of churn is reflected in these numbers. But the fact of the matter is most people don't do that. The whole reason subscriptions work is most people don't go to the trouble to unsubscribe and resubscribe like Audie does. And so that kind of churn rarely even has a material effect on these kinds of numbers. They either go up because they're getting subscribers or they're going down because everybody's leaving. That's more often what you see.
Audie's behavior being double counted may offset the number of people who are watching over their dad's shoulder or what have you. Or
I don't know that he gets double counted is what I'm saying. He gets counted for the month he's in. He doesn't get counted for the month he's not in.
Correct. But he would get double counted for being a multiple new subscriber. Or picked up subscriptions or whatever.
We don't necessarily.
But again,
know
I don't
that.
think the numbers are. I don't think the numbers are large enough that makes a material difference. Yeah. Honestly.
Norm writes in.
If they keep going up and up and up, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Norm writes in saying, "Oh dear Lord, I don't care about DC Zack Snyder, but you guys going on and on about it was so funny. You guys make the totally uninteresting to me totally engaging. Thank you very much, Norm. We appreciate it."
Honestly, that's one of the best compliments we could get.
/Cordkillers. Yeah, cordkillers@gmail.com if you have something you want to say that says that we're nice or not nice.
Release the diamond cut.
Mostly what Norm writes. That's what we want to hear. Our website is cordkillers.com. But before we go, we must find out where you can get more Merrill Barr. Merrill, where should people go?
Twitter.com/Merrill Barr, MERRILLBARR is where you can keep up with all my goings on.
Our website is cordkillers.com. Our email address is cordkillers@gmail.com. We're live on twitch.tv/nightattack and diamondclub.tv Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We'll see you later.
Hey, Tom Merritt.
Yes, Brian Brushwood.
Know who I love even more than my own children?
Your other children?
No, not my wife. I know what you're saying. I love our $5 patrons. These are the people that keep us loud, live, and independent. Thank you so much, $5 patrons.
You know what? I love them more than not life itself, because then I'd be dead and I couldn't appreciate them, but really, really, really close. And I'm so thankful that they are here to make this show happen.
Thank you so much to all of our $5 a month patrons. You guys are wizards. You're champions.
Thank you, everyone.
You're heroes.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.